we're now officially recording.
Panic!
Panic! Actually, don't panic because of Fark's new case. But let's ignore that and actually start the show. Good evening and welcome back to Valkyrie Flight. I'm Dungeon Master, Game Master actually, because, this is not a dungeon yet. And host Bazag. You had the intro, so that's all good. And we might as well just start into a brief recap of what has happened this past session after accepting the former Commander Pelus, former Taoshiar operative, and commander of the IRW Minas that the crew of the Valkyrie spectacularly, I'm going to say words right at one point or another, spectacularly exploded during, their time during the Shackleton Expanse. And they stumbled across them, and the commander wanted, along with his family, some essentially to political asylum within the Federation as a refugee after, the fallout of his spectacularly failed mission and the efforts of in part, the Federation Diplomatic Corps. So, after recovering them from secret Section 31 base that they somehow stumbled across, the crew of the Valkyrie was able to get permission for the Pelus family to get their refugee status, but something had changed. They recently got a call from their Admiral Admiral Jameson that the policy on Pelus had changed and that they were to meet up with the USS Saskatchewan and its captain, Captain Harriet Jones, to basically hand Pelus over to them, and with no real description of what was going to happen after that. So the crew decided that was not going to happen on their watch, and had started to plan and plot to get their new friends, who were formerly enemies, into a new situation. So right now, the crew has done some advancements with, preparing some sensor bombs and a few other things for the Saskatchewan, and had managed to actually delay by discovering some actual scientific knowledge. Do some science that, was intended just to delay and excuse their delay for the situation, but they rolled so well that they uncovered some slight buried information that had previously been undiscovered. So that's where we are now. But first, since one of our players, Journey, is unable to be here, I'm going to throw back to my past self, where we recorded a little mini session, and thanks me. So we're here earlier in the timeline, in terms of actual time, but let's start doing some secret stuff with our secret Section 31 agent aboard the Valkyrie. So to start, let's actually get Lustos to do a insight engineering roll for me.
Sure thing. do any of my focuses apply here?
I'm gonna say, let me double check, because I haven't double checked for a bit on your character. I'm gonna say yes, actually.
Okie dokie. I will go ahead and roll then.
Okay, so that's not quite enough, so I needed a 2. But let's just do an opposed roll with our engineer, security officer, and versus our Section 31 agent. Unfortunately, Don couldn't make it, so I'll be rolling in on his behalf. So it'll be reason engineering for both of you guys, and on Don's behalf, I'll be rolling reason security.
Okay. Do I have any focuses that apply?
Yes, I'm going to say everyone has focuses that applies.
Okay. Well, I would like to take a momentum for an extra die.
Okay, I will give Journey 2 extra dice, spending three threat to do so.
Yeah, I don't feel more comfortable than taking more than one while everyone else is in here.
And it's reason engineering. Yes?
Reason engineering, yep, for you 4 dice with a focus.
Holy shit.
Okay, so still your security is undiscovered. So that's it for Brian. That's all we need you for. I need to talk with our Section 31 agent alone for now. Thank you.
All right. Have fun.
Thank you.
Alright, so now that Brian's gone, let's move on. So, as you connect and establish your connection with the Section 31 command, you're about to start typing your own message, but you're beaten to the punch. You basically immediately receive send the attached file to Pelus immediately, and basically an instruction just to just back off away and see things how things go. You're just there to observe. Unless there's anything critical happen, they don't want you to intervene any further in the situation, apart from getting this little data packet to a data pad that you happen to know that Pelus has.
Okay. I will. I send a confirmation that I've received their orders, and I will wait until further notice and just fall back onto observatory status.
Okay, so I'm taking you're sending the data?
Yes, I will send the data to Pelus's data pad.
Okay, so as you're doing that, there is a bit of a program, but also a lot of other information as well. You're not looking at it hard, but you've dealt with enough communications to know. Oh, this is a message. This part's a message. This part's actually some kind of executable. And I'm going to spend 2 threat. And so that is it for our little short session. So thank you, me. One day I think I'll get these temporal mechanics all stuff sorted in my mind. But so let's continue on with the crew. What are the crew of the Valkyrie going to do? I know you had some plans.
Oh, I got a bunch of plans.
All right, let's start with them.
So, plan number 1, we kicked ass on making the glitter bombs, right?
You did.
Okay. I want to know if it's possible
Because
to have.
we're fabulous.
Yeah.
Yes, I want to know if it's possible to have just enough power in the torpedo launcher to mask our general presence, but have just enough power in it to launch one torpedo without us being at general weapons alert.
Well, I mean, we got that rotary torpedo launcher in the back. Yeah, I can just stick a standard torpedo in there.
Yeah, but on low enough power that casual sensors aren't going to pick us up.
Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah, I mean, the torpedo is very low power
Really?
usage, so
Yeah,
that.
I was gonna say it's fairly low power. The power's in a payload.
They might also have to eyeball it because I don't want to have to risk getting a target lock. That would probably set off some internal.
Well, considering the nature of the bomb, you've got a it's a shape bomb, so the area is there's got to be some aiming, but it's not precise, such as like a phaser beam. As long as you get it in the general direction, then it's not going to be an issue.
It's also not generally hard to hit a Galaxy class. I mean, they are basically
Just
the barn doors of outer space.
Well,
Just remember that Sir Isaac Newton is the deadliest son of a bitch in space.
There you go.
Yeah. The only difference here is we're not gonna we wouldn't ruin somebody's day. We would just make it more fabulous.
Yeah.
Okay, so for now you haven't. All that's just been required of you is to meet up a set of coordinates that
That was plan 1.
that you're not going to. So they haven't yet discovered that you're not at the coordinates yet.
Okay, yeah. We're gonna send a message that I also asked you some things. And you responded that while she did serve in the Cardassian border wars, so I don't think we've served in these similar theaters. I also wanted to know who she did her final academy dissertation on. Who or what?
Okay, give me another reason command check. This will be a difficulty
Alright,
one. Difficulty 1.
What's our momentum right now?
Actually, I need to update it. It's actually 5 and 3 for threat, because a lot of threat was spent.
Okay, I'm still gonna grab a die because I want to nail this.
Okay.
Let's see. Can I use? Just gonna try and ask if I can use anthropology, but that seems like a bit of a stretch.
No, this is just basically reading reports. This is not any kind of sociological study.
One of these days, I'm going to make an officer with a bureaucracy focus.
We really need it. It's come up a lot.
Okay, so you got your second 2 extra momentum from that. To answer your questions, she was primarily involved on Minas Corva, with some action on Dorvan, but primarily very she was very defensive in terms of trying to defend facilities, locations, places of strategic importance. You haven't met up, but she did definitely see a lot of action in that kind of situation. And as far as the her academy thesis, it was basically titled "Safety and Diplomacy: How a Safe and Secure Environment Facilitates Cultural Exchange," and basically just going about how, well, when there's threats, when there's physical violence, diplomacy is her feeling that diplomacy is corrupted because of pressure being put on one side or another, and how that impacts the overall success or failure of the mission. She cites particularly Kirk with the Capellans as a good example. She criticizes Picard about how the Trill did it with that two warring, with how Picard handled that Trill diplomat, the blind with the chorus. I can't remember what episode that was, and just basically seems to be more Kirky than Picard, in terms of a person promoting action for galactic peace, in terms of like destroying things to facilitate that goal.
That might work in our favor.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. So to summarize, it sounds like she's more accessible to honest communication rather than the expectation that she would put barriers up both physically and emotionally when met with a disagreeing opinion.
So she is give me an insight command check. Difficulty 2.
I'm grabbing another die.
Yeah.
Can I use my anthropology focus?
Yes, because this is definitely this is definitely something that would fit in that.
Yes. Social sciences.
Okay, so that was difficulty 2, so you get your momentum back. So essentially, she is very. She is resistant to ideas, but not necessarily opposed to them. She will listen, but it'll take some effort to convince her of the merit. She's open to it. She doesn't. It's not blind, but it's not going to be simple to change her mind. Once she's made her mind on whether something is safe or not, then her mind's generally set.
It's not insurmountable, but it could be somewhat difficult. Oh, and is there any record on who gave her this mission? Who's generally her commanding officer? What admiral does she report to? Generally, it may not be in this case, but who generally is her admiral?
The admiral is she's more into I actually don't know what kind of admiral, but it's different to you. It's different admiral than you guys. It's more of a local focused defense, sort of in between, sort of Ferenginar area, I guess.
So the Saskatchewan is primarily stationed in the Alpha Quadrant?
Primarily, but not as far out as Bajor, but still generally in the Alpha Quadrant.
Okay. Who's Cisco's admiral? It might be the same admiral, because I think he had that large theater.
If it's the same admiral, it would be Ross.
Okay. It's not Chev. One of these days we're going to run into her, and it's not going to be pretty. Alright, well, in that's the case, I think it's a doable game plan. We talk first, and if we need to, glitter bomb our way out. I mean, that's my plan.
Alright, so is there anything else you want to do? I know you mentioned talking to Sungwoo.
If I'm able to get a hold of him, yes.
Yeah, you are able to get a hold of him. So where do you want this thing to happen? Just in your ready room?
Basically wherever. I just trying to get let Sungwoo know what's happening, get him updated on the situation, and any advice for Captain Jones, the Saskatchewan, and what am I gonna do? I can't let them take Pelus, but I don't want to end up in the enemy of the entirety of Starfleet just because I'm taking a moral high ground.
Yeah, he is. He takes in what you're saying, and just listens for a moment. You can, as you see him on the screen, he's thinking about it, and he sort of explains that, well, there's a fine line that you have to walk. Where exactly that line is shady. It's not something that he can really help and point you out with. But
We'll know it when we've crossed it.
But yeah, be careful. And there does seem like actually I'll make him a roll to see. Okay, I'm going to say that's a success. He does seem that there is something else going on. It's not particularly about. It's like he doesn't know exactly, but it's there's like to change the orders so quickly. There's got to be something bigger going on that he is not aware of.
Hmm. Well, David's a more experienced captain than I. If he has any contacts, I mean, hell, if you know who to talk to, that'd be fantastic.
He ponders contacts in the he has a few that he'll reach out to and see what he can provide you, but he is unsure what he'll be able to give you.
Every little bit helps.
He finishes out with wish you under better circumstances. Wish you all the best.
One of these days we gotta talk without something, without something threatening or looming or something on fire. It'd be nice.
As if that ever happens in Starfleet.
Fair enough. Alright, Valkyrie out.
And yeah, so the communication system shuts down the left.
I'm actually gonna walk out on the bridge and talk to Safan for a second.
Captain.
Safan, were you able to get a look at recent intelligent reports along the Romulan neutral zone?
That's a very good question. Baz, was I able to do that?
I
I think that I would think that it's something that Safan would have done as a matter of course anyway, while we were still in the beta quadrant.
Okay, give me a reason command check to see what you were able to find. Difficulty 2.
Difficulty 2, reason command.
I will allow computers security on this.
For the Valkyrie?
For the Valkyrie.
Okay. Observation or espionage focus?
I will allow espionage.
Cool. And you said insight command, correct?
Yes.
I'd like to roll for the Valkyrie.
Alright, I'm gonna grab a die.
Okay.
Spend some to make some.
Yes. God damn.
So that was.
I think Sarah should roll for the ship since. Not the doctor thing, right?
Okay, I'll pull it up.
Hey, how much psychological training does Dr. Jar have?
Fair amount.
She does have a focus in counseling.
Okay. I'm actually gonna at some point talk to Dr. Jar and ask about the best way to approach Captain Jones. But let's do this thing first.
Okay.
All right. So
Alright.
so
What's
that was
Valkyrie rolling
computers security.
Computer security.
Oh.
Jesus. Do we feel like creating any advantages? Anybody?
Okay, so this was you can create a number of advantages because this was a difficulty 2 check. So you got a 7 there.
So, and we only get to keep one momentum. So I'm sitting here thinking, we should go in and like, we should intercept some intelligence communiques from this.
Ooh, yeah.
Like Safan accidentally gets access to something he wouldn't normally have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, let's just straight up intercept like Section 31 bombs.
Well, this is not Section 31, but you do get
Jones is the changeling. What do you know?
you do get access. You somehow worm your way into Starfleet intelligence communiques and get reports that there are diplomatic overtures being made to the Romulans, which include the surrendering of Pelus to them. That plans are underway to do that.
Who specifically is making those overtures?
Yeah, that would there. It's some.
That's probably not on there.
It's routed through Starfleet Command somewhere. You're not entirely sure, but it's someone.
But we don't know who signed off on it.
You don't know who signed off on it, but it to get an admiral on board, it has to be someone pretty powerful.
Yeah, that basically leaves everyone from the president to the Federation Council, the entirety of Section 31, the entirety of the ambassadorial court, everyone.
Yeah, Shayev.
No, she focuses on Cardassians. That wouldn't be her region.
So there are it's part of a it is part of a larger diplomatic overture to the Romulans, but that is definitely a part of it.
Well, that sucks.
It is not entirely unanticipated, however.
They literally said they weren't going to do shit like this. They just flip around.
Captain, I say we run for it.
That's plan. That's plan B.
In either case, if they get to Delphi, they legally can't take them off their sovereign soil. As long as you can keep your grandmother on site and keep it.
Yeah, but that's
It
provided.
would, however, carry repercussions for the captain.
And possibly even Delphi, if they're not willing to extradite.
An extradition would require criminal charges. And we had secured from Starfleet intelligence a promise of immunity for Commander Pelus.
Mm-hmm. Did we get it in writing?
The documents have just arrived regarding a reinterpretation of the events to say that it wasn't attempted genocide.
We spun them. And how well do we expect those documents to hold up with a fearful and reactionary Starfleet?
I mean, the documents are good in that to say that Pelus isn't a bad person, but the fearful and untrustworthy Starfleet Command would possibly ignore that if it meant that they could get the entire Romulan Star Empire on their side against the Dominion.
Yeah.
So here's my question. That communique, and I don't know if I need to spend a momentum for this. Did they say they're turning over Pelus? Just Pelus, or do they want the whole family?
It's just everything you've heard is just Pelus.
However, the Tal Shiar would no doubt attempt to use Pelus's family as leverage against him.
Mm-hmm. Or other interested parties. I want to talk to Captain Jones. As face-to-face or as close as we can get. I'm not terribly worried about the Saskatchewan stopping us. I mean, first off, she's a Galaxy class. Secondly, she's not as fast as us. And we already have an ace up our sleeve.
If it comes down to it, Captain, I would suggest we attempt to run before attempting to fight.
Yeah, obviously, I'm not gonna start throwing down with another Federation starship. Yeah, no, that's just. Yeah, no, we don't do that.
Admiral Layton could have used that advice.
Yeah, and we're not him.
I have a question. Are we near any neutral powers at the moment?
You're pretty deep into Federation space.
Do we want to buy refugee status for Pelus on Ferenginar?
I mean that you aren't you're coming up to Ferenginar. It's still ahead of you. If you wanted to do anything there, you're welcome to try, and you got some Latinum, so
I only know 2 Ferengi, and those are the ones I beat at Tonga.
There may be another option, Captain.
No?
Would it be possible, since Pelus is now a Federation refugee and aboard our ship, for you to conscript him into service?
What?
If he is a member of Starfleet, he cannot be given to the Romulan Star Empire.
I'm sitting here thinking that he's going to tell us over his dead body.
I would. Well, conscript is a bad choice.
But if it would keep his family safe.
I
Can
can
offer
also
it to him.
I can also see the Admiralty being basically deciding to betray him and handing him over anyways in order to try and keep the peace with the Romulan.
Not unless we leaked it to the Federation News Network.
Unfortunately, then they could leak the documents saying that he tried to commit genocide, in which case public sympathy would dry up.
Goddamn political minefield. We could potentially bring him on as an acting ensign.
It is not without precedent.
No. Generally have to be at least between the ages of 16 and 18, or whatever your biological equivalent is, but it's possible. I don't know how well it's going to stand up.
Well, if your talks with Captain Jones, was it?
yeah, Harriet Jones.
It
Okay.
need only stand up long enough for us to reach Delphi.
And that in of itself is problematic, because then they could accuse him of dereliction of duty once we dropped him off, at which point they would have every
The
right
captain
to...
relieved him of duty.
After all, it would not do to have an officer who tried to attempted to commit genocide.
That is... At least on one hand, it would probably keep things held up in court for a good 6 months.
On
They
the
wouldn't even
other,
be able to hand him over.
on the other, we would all be in court in 6 days.
Oh yeah, no, we'd be court-martialed super fast. But it could keep him safe. And it wouldn't be my first court-martial, let's be honest. I'm comfortable calling that a plan C.
I don't know, it feels more like a plan F.
Plan F is basically plan A.
I more meant as in, we are so.
Yeah, no.
Well, we'll never know if we don't talk to Jones.
Yeah. From what I've read about Jones, at the very least, she might be open to conversation, at least open to a discussion, once I can get past her initial barriers.
And in any event, while I cannot speak for anyone else in this room, I believe my career is worth sacrificing if it will keep a refugee safe.
I mean, that's why we do this.
Indeed.
What
What
good are
the
these
hell?
pips if we're not helping people with them?
And what the hell? Odds are they're going to need us anyways.
Yeah. All right. Any word from Saskatchewan about when they're coming to us?
So you just essentially as you asked that, communications comes in. It is a Saskatchewan. They've just detected that you aren't at the rendezvous point and are asking for clarification and an estimate of your arrival.
Send over the appropriate data we got from the solar flares, because I'm sure they're going to be interested in that regardless. It's also a really great cover story. And then let them know we're going to go ahead and meet him at the rendezvous point at Standard Warp. And then I'm going to tell Alvarado to set a course to the rendezvous point at Warp 6.
Okay, I'm gonna give me a presence command roll, Ted.
Okay. I'm going to use a dice. And I am going to use... can I use command presence?
I
You
mean,
know
it
what?
seems like
Yes.
it would fit here.
Yeah.
You know
Outside
what?
diplomacy.
Roll presence command. Can I use command presence?
Yeah.
Oh.
Do it.
Okay. That's
Okay.
3. I'm going to re-roll that one. 4.
Okay, so you do make a good impression, and you're able to mollify some of her initial complaints regarding the timing and the sensitivity of it. I would have given you a threat for not being there on time, but you've nullified that effect.
I'm going to thank Lasan later for all the well-placed science. Really saved our asses on that one. And yeah, no, what's the ETA on our arrival?
So you're still another 3 hours away.
Alright, let's get started on the glitter bomb. Or, we already got started on it. Let's get started on setting it up. Getting as low powered as possible, so if we need, so when I get the signal, we can fire it.
They're literally already in the tubes. They're good to go.
Perfect. Okay. And let's bring Pelus onto the bridge. And it's important. This is all concerns him. He has a right to know what's going on.
Indeed.
Yeah. And then let's get a read on him when we kill him his idea of offer him service as an was it acting ensign.
Acting ensign.
Yeah.
All right, so Safan, what is the security like in engineering currently?
What is the security like in engineering?
Yeah, are they like guards posted out the front? Like
I mean,
what's
From
it?
engineering, someone could commandeer the entire ship. So engineering is almost as well protected as the bridge.
Okay, so
It's just to say, like, 5 guards on each door.
No,
That's like
two. I mean, they're pretty capable. Sofan's security teams are pretty capable.
That's true.
okay, so your guards are approached by Pelus, who express a desire to speak with Nzaka.
Mazaka comes out because he's, as much as he likes Pelus-ish, he's not letting the person who just defected into engineering.
That is entirely fair.
Yeah.
And I take him up and be like, let's talk in private. I take him into, like, one of the side offices.
All right, so you lead him into one of the side offices, and he asks you about what are the current plans. What is the Valkyrie doing regarding the situation? his situation.
Have we had the talk with him up on the bridge?
Well, this is this wouldn't have been this would have been just before that, I guess.
Mazaka would just be like, Pelus, I understand how you're feeling. We are actually going to be having a discussion with you about this very shortly. It's not my place to discuss. I want to leave that for the captain.
I'm sure you understand, but I would like to take an active role in this situation, since it is dealing with both myself and my family. I'm sure you understand. But
I do, and that's exactly why we're having this meeting. And if you excuse me, things are apparently falling off in engineering.
like he sort of lets out an exasperated sigh. Well,
I just kind of clasp his shoulder and go, I want you to know that no matter what, I will make sure that at the very least your family is safe. In the worst case scenario.
it is hard for me to rely on others since, well, what my job was, but I guess I've got no other choice than to do so. Thank
It's
you.
not a good feeling. I understand.
And he sort of just sort of wanders out, back away from engineering.
And Mazaka just takes a really big, deep sigh and just kind of face palms, basically, because he's so stressed out over this. Just goes off to the meeting.
Okay, and after the meeting, Pelus approaches the bridge and is led aboard and looks around to see what someone's gonna say to him.
Let's take a minute in the conference room, why don't we? And we all pile in there. We hit the big scene, and we tell us exactly what's been going on, which probably surprises him because I think he was probably just reflexively expecting us to keep secrets.
Like there is a bit of surprise that you keep secrets, but a bit of that you're being so open, but it does seem to it does seem to connect that you're being above board with whatever you say, your assurances, everything you're saying to him seems on the up and up to him. So then he goes, well then how can I assist in this endeavor?
That's actually a good question. It seems to be a lot of this is the Federation making overtures with the Romulans as part of a I assume some kind of treaty or pact in case of Dominion aggression. Naturally, one man being turned over isn't enough to cause an entire civilization to make a treaty. You know what other concessions might be being made? Something the Romulans might be interested in?
Well, there is Romulan honor at stake, Captain. There is a lot of a lot of value in my returning back to Romulus for a quick trial and summary execution. But yes, there would definitely be more. He's going to do a insight command to see if he can add
Or worse,
anything more.
re-education.
Okay.
Ooh.
I can think of some additional resources, some maybe additional leeway regarding the neutral zone, additional trade, a few extra restrictions on the Federation regarding cloaking.
Treaty of Algeron.
Treaty of Algeron. But nothing that I can particularly think of that would be contentious.
And these all sound like things that Starfleet Command wouldn't approve of anyway.
Something about this bothers me, Captain. It is highly illogical for Starfleet to anticipate they would receive any concessions in return for returning one defected Tal Shiar officer.
Yeah, no. This, I can't imagine just one man being returned to another to a foreign power swinging the entire thing. That seems. No offense, Pelus, but you're not that important.
Perhaps not, but if the look of things is definitely important to my people, so if...
What if the point isn't to get you to the Romulan, to back to the Romulan Empire? What if the point is to simply get you off the Valkyrie?
I don't think it's that. That doesn't even make sense, really. Starfleet knows that you and Pelus held a rivalry for over a year. At the very least, they don't want you on this ship. No, something else is going on. And
Why not be Starfleet?
I want to make a roll.
Mm-hmm.
This is basically... I want to see if Mazaka is aware of Flock's reunification movement on Romulus.
Okay, this will be... this will have to be Reason Command.
I'm gonna take a momentum for an extra die.
Okay.
Take two if you need.
It'll be a difficulty 3. Because
Then I'll
that...
take 2. What the hell?
The unification movement, that's an interesting pull.
Well,
Holy
Oh,
Ouch.
I'm actually going to use one of my values to re-roll 3 of those die.
okay.
Almost walk the path to peace.
I'll allow it.
Difficulty
Well,
3.
Yep.
So... well,
That's 2 20s, ouch.
so you do get you are aware of some reports that Picard had filed and secretive regarding the adventures of Ambassador Spock on Romulus, particularly with the reunification.
So Mazak says, what if it's not Pelus they're after? What if they're wanting information on the Romulan distant movement?
Then it would do them no good to have Pelus returned to them. He was, to
He
our
would make-
knowledge, not a part of the movement.
But it would be good cover. It would
If
make it seem like the Romulans are interested in multiple sources of intelligence, gaining a captured Tal Shiar agent as well as information on an insider movement.
interesting point. If
Are you suggesting Starfleet's willing to let Ambassador Spock hang out to dry just to defend themselves against the Dominion?
I think it's safe to say Starfleet's capable of anything.
That seems...
Given the near success of Admiral Layton's coup, I am forced to agree.
I don't want to believe we're that far down.
But if I were to be returned to Romulus for this purpose, then it could be, if I was aware of this group, which it is not my area, so I'm not currently educated on this, but if
I don't think it's actually specifically about you. We know the Dominion is making overtures to every power in the Alpha and Beta quadrants. I think it's safe to say the Romulans are not going to cross the Dominion.
What if it's not even that? What if Pelus is just a delivery mechanism? Hell, what if someone's planning to turn this to kill Pelus and replace him with the Changeling Infiltrator? Once it gets to the Romulan Empire, they can just turn into somebody else and then put themselves in the system.
It doesn't even have to be that complicated. They could just be using the situation to gain as much intelligence as they can.
Captain,
I mean, why not?
may I speak with you for a moment in private?
Yeah, let's go to my ready room. 1 second, everybody. And we head over.
Captain, Captain, your words just now brought up an option I had not considered. What if the Pelus currently on board the Valkyrie is a changeling?
Wouldn't we have tested for that? I mean, during the physicals that Dr. Jar gave the entire family.
That is something that you would need to ask the doctor.
Also, we have a Beta Z on the bridge.
We do, but have we asked him to specifically scan Pelus?
1 second. Ted pokes his head out the door. Hey, Chara! Is Pelus a changeling?
Meanwhile, in the conference room, we're hearing this. And I'm just sitting there awkwardly going, would you like some coffee?
I'm rolling with it. I'm sticking with it. I believe Chara was scanned last time. And hell, yeah, no, I'm gonna ask. Literally, just that.
So I need to...
I believe you can't read a changeling's mind. I believe that's one of the issues.
I'm gonna go double check.
Well, either way, if they do, then they're gonna know they're duplicitous.
Yeah.
So there
If you
is...
get rid of changeling's mind, you wouldn't have to deal with all the blood scanning. You could just say, that guy's a changeling.
So what I need is,
That's a fair point, yeah.
I've got an official answer. The thoughts and emotions of changelings could not be read by betazoids.
There we go.
Okay, so what I need to know, like, a sort of layout. Is this a room off the side of the conference room, or is this in your ready room, or, like, where...
I was in my ready room, I poked my head out, I asked Charo, just, it's
Okay.
Health and changeling, and
You realize you could have thought that loudly instead of literally shouting it, right?
Yeah.
Um...
And it's a shame Journey isn't here tonight, because I think he would have had so much fun with it.
I'm going to roll on his behalf to see if he can focus.
Yes.
So this will be control command, I guess.
He can take a die if he wants.
He's going to take a die.
So we need to text us the Journey.
So 3 dice.
Just that.
He doesn't have a focus on this. Okay, that's 2. That's enough. I don't detect any deception. Pretty
Thumbs
upset
up.
right now.
Thumbs up and goes back to the ready room. There we go.
Things just get more awkward in the conference room.
Like Kalani is just like blink, 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 blink.
Pelus just sorts of closes his eyes and just sort of rubs his temple.
This is the man who blew up my ship.
Stefano's just given like the whole dead eye look, like, really, Captain?
It's actually important for him to underestimate me.
I think right now he may have overestimated you.
But yeah, no, it sounds like Pelus isn't a changeling. So unless we want to start pulling his blood, which I'm not entirely a fan of, I think we can rule out that possibility.
I do not think that will be necessary, Captain.
Excellent. Alright, let's get back to it before I piss him off even more.
Alright, so Stefan and Ted return back into the conference room. Speaking of which, I should change maps. And
Right to Gino, sits back down.
I don't know what is worse, Captain, if you are playing the fool or if you actually are a fool.
Just a sly grin as he sips his coffee. Regardless, we can all agree that nothing here is on the up and up. This whole situation just screams of somebody else's hand. And until we find some way of uncovering it, which unfortunately we don't seem to have any methods of doing so right now, because none of us seem to have the Admiral of Starfleet intelligence in our back pocket, or his number, or her number, or their number. I forget who's the head of Starfleet intelligence right now.
I have no clue. I need to check.
I am not aware that there's a canon one at the moment.
I think there's actually somebody listed in the books, but I don't know which one. Probably operations. But either way, yeah, so. As it stands, until we can get more information about what's going on, I think the best plan is to, rather than looking at the big picture, looking at our current theater.
Meet with the Saskatchewan's captain and determine what is going on.
Mm-hmm. And see if we can talk her into our perspective.
Is there anything I can help with?
Unless you feel like wearing a pip on your collar.
He was there for the Ensign talk,
We-
wasn't he?
We told him of that idea, yes.
Yeah. It is a rather bemusing idea, Captain. I would do it for my family, but I would, of course, have to set some ground rules about, well, expectations of continuing the service. That is, it is fine for a ploy, but I do not want to be a Starfleet officer for an extended period of time.
Yeah, and even as a ploy, there's a possibility of just being an acting ensign, which means you could get pulled into deeper service later on. Depending on how things go with the Dominion.
I do have some specialities in engineering. It is how I developed the things that I developed for you saw, but I do not know how that could be useful in the meantime.
I think currently we have our engineering situation taken care of, but I appreciate the offer.
So for now, you're saying just for me to sit back and do nothing.
Unfortunately, sometimes that's just the only thing you can do. And depend on others.
Is there perhaps some holodeck time I could arrange to maybe make some plans of my own?
Not entirely. Is it safe to run a holodeck at this point? I mean, in this kind of situation.
Well, we are going to establish communication lines, aren't we? If that is the case, then she will at least know that what direction we are, where we are currently.
No, I'm thinking as in the case of if we're getting shot at in the holodeck, does
Well,
that thing that holodecks sometimes do.
we are still have at least a couple hours before rendezvous. If
Alright, yeah, but I'd appreciate if you could keep any kind of outside communication to a minimum.
okay.
Alright. Anyone else has any other bright ideas? Any Hail Marys? And I guess we gotta wait to rendezvous with the Saskatchewan and hope hope this goes well. Oh boy.
Indeed.
And I think we should really fast forward it.
Okay, so Pelus spent some time in the holodeck. I'm going to do. I'm going to spend a threat to give him an extra die. Okay, so things happen.
He crit.
Someone did anyway.
Okay, that's good. Let's go and get a threat back for that. And I'm gonna spend an extra 2 threat for random purposes.
Totally not random at all. Got it.
Yes, totally not random at all.
We knew this was never going to be simple.
In the meantime, fast forwarding, you arrive. The Saskatchewan has already arrived and is, but just seems to have just arrived just before you. The Valkyrie sensors were able to pick up the 2 warp signatures approaching each other's as you arrived, and you're getting a hail from the USS Saskatchewan.
On screen.
Captain Tedesco, I am Captain. I forgot her name. Jones. I'm Captain Jones of the USS Saskatchewan. I have been ordered to take on a former Tal Shiar operative. I'm forwarding copies of all relevant orders to you now. She looks back over to her comms officer, which forwards her orders, but also orders that have been placed by Admiral Jameson, your admiral. Her orders are placed by a different admiral. You do notice that, and they both say the same thing: to hand over Pelus.
I'm just gonna do a quick, basically a checksum on the orders, make sure they're legit.
Okay, give me reason security, difficulty 2.
Reason security.
Yeah, reason. Difficulty 2.
All right.
You can use computers engineering for the
For the
Valkyrie.
Valkyrie. Okay. I'm gonna grab a die for momentum. Do I? Does my observation focus apply here?
I'm gonna say no.
Okay. 3.
Okay, so you get the momentum back.
Who's rolling for Valkyrie?
I see Sarah again.
Okay.
Yee. Roll another crit. Success though. Like, don't roll
What
a
am I
crit fail.
rolling
That
for
would suck.
Valkyrie?
Computers engineering.
Engineering.
Okay, nothing more from the Valkyrie, but you're able to verify that indeed the orders are legit.
Captain Jones, do you have the intership holographic communication system installed?
Negative. That is not expected to be deployed, as my understanding is, for another couple of years on the Saskatchewan.
Is it possible for us then to talk face to face? I'm willing to come over to Saskatchewan.
What is the topic of discussion you are presenting?
Starfleet's honor.
Give me a command presence roll.
Can I use command presence?
You can use presence command and command presence.
I'm
It's
grabbing
our
a
new
die.
running gag, everybody. Welcome.
I'm gonna re-roll that one. That's 3.
That's 3. I'm going to allow you to also roll the ship communications command.
Go for it, Sarah. You've been rolling gangbusters tonight. Or at least you have not been critical failure.
2 critical failures.
Because that's generally me when I roll for the ship. There we go. Oh, no, that's me again. And
So communications plus command.
Provided that she's there. Sarah, are you there?
I'm
can you roll for the
Yes,
ship?
Again? No.
Yes.
so that's
Sarah's
communications.
like, no.
Communications command.
Yes, thank you. Ooh.
Oh! 5.
Okay, so you were able to get 2 momentum back. She stares at you for a moment. It's hard. It's hard for you to read her. It's a bit tense. You don't know how she's going to respond, and then finally, she nods and say, "Very well. Permission to board."
Understood. I'll be here in a minute. Valkyrie out.
You could tell toward the end there, she was just like admiring the fuck out of the Valkyrie.
As soon as the communications are
that's
cut,
got a nice comm system.
as soon as communications are cut, I turn over to Rogeson. If I give the signal, you take Pelus and you hightail it over to Delphi.
Well,
Okay.
very well, sir. I don't like leaving you over there, but
If I can talk her out of this, that's fine. If not, I don't think they're expecting the Valkyrie to leave without her captain.
it'll be a surprise, and they won't be ready, so they'll have to yes, heat up their warp drive.
Yeah.
All right. Good
I
luck,
trust you,
sir.
Remsen. And I pat her on the shoulder as I leave. All right, you have the bridge.
I'm gonna duck into the turbo lift with Ted.
Okay. You can tell me not to go.
No. I know I couldn't talk you out of it even if I wanted to. And I just lean over, kiss Ted on the cheek, and go, good luck.
Ah, fuck it. And I turn to Zach over and I just kiss him like full on.
Yes!
And it ends. I go.
So
That is a good luck kiss.
Yes, it is. he's kind of stunned.
And then the door's open. Shh. Hopefully, I'll see you in a bit, Commander.
God, I hope so.
And I head over to transporter pad 1 and beam over.
Okay. So you met there by the captain, her Bolian first officer, who is actually it's a weird duality. Like he's happy, she's like really strict, and like sort of sour-faced. The two make a interesting pairing, just visually as and emotionally as you look at them.
Hey, opposites tend to do well as commanding officer and executive officer. Makes sense. Permission to come aboard, Captain?
Permission granted. This is my first officer. I forgot. Roland.
Commander Roland, nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you. He grabs your hand enthusiastically, places one hand over the other, and shakes it just a little bit too long.
It's like us blue boys got to stick together.
Oh.
Yep, very nice to meet you.
Sorry, excuse that. Anyway, shall we join in my ready room to discuss what ever it is you wish to discuss?
Lead the way.
Okay. So
And as we're walking, I regale here with the story of how I almost landed a seat on the original on the Enterprise D.
Okay, give me a
I'm not sure that's going to make any friends, but sure.
give me a presence command with command presence.
Sure. Just mentioning, the Galaxy class has changed over the years, and et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I mean, they pull out a lesson, but there isn't, there isn't a wild guffaw from the Bolian.
It's like, what a blowhard.
I he's like invested, like he is actively listening. You can tell, but there isn't, there isn't anything that results from that talk. In terms of any kind of negative or positive response to it. It's just a story that you told. Yay. So you end up in their ready room aboard the Saskatchewan. So please take a seat, Captain.
And I'll do so. Uncomfortably, because these chairs aren't designed for people. Of my
Yeah,
physiology.
so you sort of have to like sit a bit sideways. To
No, I turn it over and I turn it into the cool chair.
Oh, okay. So you're working this, okay?
Hey kids, let's rap.
He's doing the Captain America maneuver. Look out!
Let me
So,
look at a ball cap so I can wear it backwards.
so
You do, fellow kids.
Captain Jones, after you seated, turn the seat around, sit back. Captain Jones walks around her desk, sits on a chair, and looks expectantly at you.
Captain Jones, how much have you been briefed on the current situation regarding Pelus?
Enough to know that he is a former Tal Shiar operative that was discovered by the Valkyrie and has had several run-ins with the Valkyrie before, especially one regarding with what could have been a potential genocidal event on Usor, and that the Federation is desiring to play nice with the Romulans to facilitate a stronger relationship so that perhaps the Dominion might not get us such a eager friend in the future within the Romulan Star Empire.
Oh
That
boy.
that is my current understanding of the situation, Captain. I believe you have an opposing view, or you perhaps wouldn't be here to begin with.
Well, would you mind if I broaden your context a little?
Very well.
I came across Pelus while he was stationed on board a off-the-books Federation facility because he was fleeing from the Romulan Star Empire with his family, so that he and his family were not executed on charges of treason. When he arrived on my ship, I took him in, and he requested asylum for both himself and his family. We went back to Earth. We spoke with the officers of Starfleet Intelligence, and a deal was brokered for himself and his family to be taken to the planet of Delphi so that they could live out their years as refugees in peace. I can give you the paperwork.
Well, that would be interesting to say, Captain.
Pelus asked us for help. He came to me. Me, of all people, who previously blew up his ship. And asked for help for him and his family. Now, forgive me if I'm wrong, but I seem to be under the belief that helping people is Starfleet's business. And we don't turn a blind eye to that just because it becomes politically inconvenient. Or has the situation changed since I was in the Shackleton Expanse?
Things are more complicated than they might have been, but I understand your point. I do have a question, though. Are you sure that he was not handling you as he is, by your own admission, a former Tal Shiar agent?
Am I sure that he's not a double agent? No. Is that going to change how I approach the situation? No. I can't assume that every single hand asking for help is hiding a knife behind the back.
No, but this may be the ones that have stabbed you in the past.
He tried. He failed. If he's going to try again, he must
To
have
his
suddenly
credit,
found...
at least he tried to stab us in the face.
If he's going to try again, he must have found a well of competency I don't know he even possessed.
Ooh. Okay.
I don't mean any offense to the man, but he's...
Okay. Give me another presence command presence roll.
I'm taking another die.
This will be opposed, and she won't be taking
You
a
know what?
die.
In this case, I'm actually going to pop a value.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if I have to be a leader, then God help us all, I will.
Okay, I will take that.
And I'm still I'm keeping that die. So I'm gonna reroll that one of those. Damn, but that's still 4.
That's
4?
still 4 versus her 2 successes, so you get 2 momentum.
Yay!
So as you sit there, she is very hard to read. That's as you come, but you see a slight softening to her face, just very slightly, as you explained. So, what you're saying is that he has been willing to submit himself to your captaincy and has not been unduly disruptive, or has been a rather had a positive reaction to your control, your command of the ship.
Pelus has been a model civilian, him and his family, for as long as they've been on the Valkyrie. He's even been willing to share what intelligence he knows about the Roman Star Empire with Starfleet intelligence.
There is a lot someone would do for their own safety and for the safety of their family, Captain. The question is whether he can be trusted in that, which I am still not convinced of.
I would disagree and suggest the question is where would these orders actually come from? Because this seems like a rather suspicious turnaround from previously agreeing to the suggestion of living out his years on Delphi. He's turned from a refugee to a political pawn in the amount of what feels like days.
Captain, I'm sure you're aware that the situation in politics and in war has changed very rapidly. And circumstances and situations which might not have been possible merely 2-3 days ago are now not only possible, but very likely.
And so suddenly that makes it acceptable.
We do as needs must, Captain. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, as I believe that was Surok, Vulcan philosopher, once said.
Mm-hmm. What you're basically suggesting is we throw Pelus to the wolves to keep ourselves safe.
If we can ensure safety and security, Captain, then we can engage in further diplomacy with the Romulans, and we have a future of not only dealing with the problems with the Star Empire that the Federation has, but with the future and I would say imminent invasion of the Dominion. The threat of death is one that motivates people to do all kinds of things.
Captain,
including sacrifice their own values.
Captain, since when were we willing to sacrifice our ideals merely because of fear? Isn't the whole point of our entire existence, the Federation Starfleet, is to show that we are above that kind of behavior?
Captain, I am a practical person. I deal with the realities on the ground.
And then it's a captain I'm familiar with once said that I would call that a distinction without a difference. Practicality is just another word for acceptance of fear.
Okay, do another roll.
Okay.
This will once again be opposed.
Okay.
I'm using a threat for this one.
Everybody cool with me taking 2 die?
Take it.
Okay.
I need to roll one more time.
Four.
Versus 2. Another. So you're down to 1 momentum.
Yes.
2.
2 momentum.
Captain, we don't do this. We continue to not do this. Archer didn't do it. Pike didn't do it. Kirk didn't do it.
Kirk sure as hell didn't do it.
Yeah. We don't do this. We are better than this. We are better than their orders. And I know you're better than this too.
Then what do you suggest our action should be, Captain? We have Dominion at the door. We have a unresponsive Romulan Star Empire. We have threats, the kind that we have never faced before. What should we do?
We're starship captains. We keep an eye on the horizon, but we take things day by day. As for the Dominion, I can't say for sure how that's going to go. I'm hoping for peace, but I'm willing to prepare for war. But that doesn't mean I'm going to leave innocent men to hang just so that I can sleep slightly better at night. I'm not willing to do that under any circumstance. And I'm hoping that you'll agree with me.
Yeah, let's do one more roll.
Okay. Gonna grab a die.
Dude, that speech was really good.
Oh.
So she got 3, but you got 5. So so another 2 momentum, so up to 3.
Ted has just set the guilt setting to kill.
Hey, Baz.
Yes.
Yeah, 4.
Uh,
No, wait, no. Spent 1, gained 2. Never mind.
Yep.
Yeah.
Never mind.
So what are your suggestions for what's currently in front of us then?
If
How
I can
do we
ask-
move forward?
Well, if I can ask, where did your orders come from? Not who signed off on them. Do you know who above crafted them in the first place?
I do not.
Do you think you could find out?
I will try.
Secondly, if you're willing to do it, it's possible you could escort us to Delphi. As it would be much more amenable to continue the situation on a Federation member world. Some place that we know is protected, safe. Still in the Alpha Quadrant, but within Federation territory. Delphi is developed, and I hate to say it, but I may have some influence there.
I'll think about that. We do have one question regarding what to do with the Romulans. They currently expecting a former operative of theirs.
I'm not entirely sure it's the Romulans. What I'm trying to say is I'm not entirely sure your orders are specifically concerning the office Romulans. I have a suspicion that this is all about just getting Pelus off my ship.
Off your ship and where?
Where were you told to hand Pelus to?
I was going to head him off to another ship that would... I don't actually know where that ship would take him. But it would just...
Mm-hmm. He would just disappear into the wind, right? No longer your problem. Who's to say he would ever make it to the Romulan Star Empire?
Well, you've given me a lot to think about, Captain. I will make inquiries, talk with my own senior staff, and I will get back to you about some thoughts about how to proceed from here.
Okay. For the time being, though, do you mind if I return to the Valkyrie?
Sure.
Thank you.
I will be fairly busy for next hour or so, perhaps
I
more.
understand. And I'm gonna, as I stand up, I'm gonna hold out my hand to shake.
As you stand up, she stands up and she grabs your hand, not up the hand, but a bit, up the hand at the forearm.
Oh, we do the commando shake.
Yeah.
You son of a bitch. But yeah, no, Captain. Thank you.
She gives you a curt nod of their hand and just dismissed.
Mm-hmm. And I will walk out and head back to the transporter room.
You return safely back to the Valkyrie. I'm not even going to roll it.
Yeah, transporter bed. The transporter bed.
Captain, suggest we leave the system at high warp. Let us not give the Saskatchewan a reason to, or time to, reconsider the words you've given her.
Ted's actually smiling and he goes, actually I think we're going to be okay. But if we leave now, it would just be betraying what little trust I've managed to develop. We have to let her come to her own choices.
Alright, so I'm going to get her to do a roll. Okay. I'm going to get someone else to do a roll as well.
No.
This is dangerous land.
Okay, so Sarah, where is Holt currently? What's Holt doing?
So,
Oh, shit.
Holt is probably... She's either probably doing drills or she's at the bar. If there is a bar.
So let's say she's doing drills. What would they appear? What would that look like?
Who's they?
The drills.
Oh,
What does a drill look like? Like what is involved in a drill?
She's probably in a simulator. Or on the holodeck of some kind.
or
Okay.
touch and goes.
Which she would do on the holodeck.
Yeah.
Yeah, not while the shields are up and we're trying to protect someone.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Could be running laps in the through deck.
Alright, so right now, within the shuttle bay, one of the Type 8 shuttles doesn't quite have permission to go, but is still leaving anyway.
Like hell it is.
Well, it's attempting to.
It's the one there.
Does security
So,
Yeah, does Holt do anything?
aware of that?
Yeah, shouldn't that set off like alarms?
so there are you are aware that is happening right this minute. The question is, what are you responding?
Tractor beam?
No, hang on. Holt's the one in the situation right now.
Well, Holt's not in the cargo bay.
In the
Or
shuttle bay.
The shuttle bay.
Alright, so
Then maybe one of your flight crew or one of your someone on your staff informs you what's going on. 'Cause I think the first thing to do is call you.
I mean, if they're doing drills, they're probably doing it together as a squadron.
Which means probably
So-
the character that's the closest to this, ironically, would end up being Ankaro, since the flight deck is connected to main engineering.
okay, so there is a computer alert that is, I'm going to say, directed at Holt, letting her know that there's an unauthorized shuttle launch.
Then Holt would send the signal to scrambled fighters.
And that's probably going to set off Safan.
And yeah, so Stefan, you're aware that, hang on, the shuttles are being, the fighters are being scrambled. Something's going on.
Well, the shields are up. That should stop the shuttle from leaving. But I'm gonna sound red alert and lock a tractor beam on the shuttle.
Yeah, and as soon as that red alert happens and the alert mission goes to the engineering staff, they're going to lock down the bay doors.
Safan, what the hell's going on?
Unauthorized shuttle launch, Captain.
What? Who?
Likely Commander likely Pelus.
Okay.
Stand by.
So the shuttle which launches is going to fire phasers at the shuttle bay doors. And that is a hit. Should also roll for the shuttlecraft. Okay, so that's one threat. And I need to do damage, don't I?
Which not going to be a whole lot for a shuttle.
No, not a whole lot for a shuttle.
Our
Yeah, not even
resistance
enough
is
to-
higher than that.
Yep.
So basically, the shuttle bay doors are scarred, but there's very little actual damage to it.
Hail
Thank
the
you,
shuttle.
Byron.
Somebody get me an open comm link in that shuttle now.
So
Link frequency's open.
yeah, the combination, it is Pelus.
To whoever the hell is inside of one of my shuttles, what the hell are you doing? And actually, Ted's gonna start booking it for the shuttle bay.
Captain, let me go. It's easier this way.
It is certainly not. What the hell do you think you're doing, pal?
Taking away the problem.
No, what you're doing is getting away in a crappy shuttle we can catch you in like 10 seconds, and then you'll just be making everything worse. Because you're reactionary and not thinking things through.
Okay, give me your command presence.
Certainly. Die again.
And this will be once again pose check. He's gonna take that threat that he just got.
Okay.
Ooh. So that's 5 from Pelus.
And that determination. I don't think I can meet it. Even if I crit, I don't know if I can meet it because that'd be meeting. But if I crit, what side am I on? Am I defending or attacking?
I'm gonna say you would be the active player. So if you tied, it would go to you.
I'm gonna reroll. I have that power. Damn, 4.
Okay, so it's you reduce it down to 1 threat. I am endangering my family by my presence, Captain. Let me go.
Pelus, the only thing you're doing is putting them at more risk by doing this. For God's sakes, do you have any idea how this is all gonna look? Okay, so what are you gonna do? You plan to blast your way out. You're gonna go hide somewhere. Presumably you have somewhere you're gonna go in the Alpha Quadrant. Then what? You're leaving your family out to dry. If they can't get to you, they'll just get to them through you. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Or they will target your family regardless.
Yeah.
I'd like to say, I would just like to say at this point, Misaka has burst in with the security team with phasers. From the engineering.
Holt's one step ahead of you. She's in her fighter, and she's actually like hovering inside the bay with her weapons locked onto the shuttle.
Okay, one more roll from Pelus. You hear him sigh. He stammers. Just needed to do something.
Pelus, I get that, but this isn't helping anyone. You have no idea what's going to happen. Doing this is going to break any kind of trust you might have built up within the Federation. And then you're not going to have anybody out here.
I'm sorry. And he starts to land the shuttle again. And
I see. By this
lands.
time, I'm on the through deck.
The communication cuts off. He lands safely. Slowly, he steps out. And he knows. He sort of just holds up his hand, waiting for security to do what security does.
Is Stefan here by this point?
I would imagine so.
Yeah, I would imagine that all the senior staff are there by now.
Stefan, escort Pelus back to his cabin.
Aye, Captain.
And Commander Misaka,
Yes, Captain.
we seem to have an unfortunate shuttle bay accident. Could you go ahead and mark that on our record? Seem to have caused some scarring on the walls here and on the door.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Would you also like me to update the security lockouts on who can enter the bay?
Yeah, but do it in a couple hours so it doesn't seem too suspicious.
Aye, sir. And I just wave at Holt like, good work!
Yeah, no, I'm looking at Holt like, no, good idea, but I don't think we need to blow anything up today.
Standing down.
No boom today. Boom tomorrow. Always
Maybe.
boom tomorrow.
So Pelus is escorted back to his quarters. He is not looking at any of you in the eye. He's just keeping his head down and just meekly following.
I'm gonna put something, put like a little security alert on the door to let me know when any member of his family leaves those quarters. Just kind of putting a bell on the cat.
Alright, so after that situation settled down, you, after about an hour or so, you get a call from the Saskatchewan.
On screen.
Captain, I think we might have a suitable idea.
Let's hear it.
We fake the commander's death.
That's a little out of left field from what I was thinking of, but go on.
If the commander is out of the picture, as in dead out of the picture, then there'll be no reason for the Romulans to target his family. If he's dead, there'll be no one to hand over. And if he's dead, the Romulans get their desire of removing a thorn in their side.
Unless he's completely vaporized, they're going to want a body.
I was thinking of faking a shuttle accident.
You know, I think we have just the thing for that. We seem to... Safan, why don't you send the Saskatchewan the details of the shuttle accident we recently
experienced?
Yeah.
Hi, Captain. And
Can
I'll
we
do
share,
so.
yeah, we share that information with the Saskatchewan.
Okay. She looks over it. Bit impetuous, but understandable.
We haven't had a chance to share this information with Starfleet yet. You think it might be possible to expand the situation a bit? Maybe the shuttle accident didn't quite have the happy ending we were all hoping for.
I am sure that we can, shall we say, fiddle the numbers to create a false impression.
If we do so, Captain, I would suggest we leave a trail of debris to approximate the shuttle's destruction or destroy a shuttle outright.
We got plenty of Type 8s.
Indeed.
Holt's just kind of like, oh please let me shoot.
It would make an effective exercise for the Valkyries, for the Fenrir squadron crew.
It would make sense to scramble the Fenrir squadron first. All right. Provided we can get everything on board, and obviously we keep this to ourselves. Hell with it. Let's do a little espionage.
I presume the Valkyrie would be up to suitable creating a holographic shuttle cockpit and recording the necessary internal fakery of that. There would just need to be fake sensor logs added to that, I believe, and once those are done, with the physical evidence, I believe we could pull this off.
I like the sound of that. Yeah, no, we'll get around that right away.
All right, so who wants to do what?
I'll work on faking the sensor logs. I guess I'm probably the closest person to actually being able to do that right now.
Iris probably could do that.
Yeah,
It's either that or I do the holographic thing.
you should do the holographic thing. That's more your speed.
Okay.
So I think Iris and Ted should work together for the faking
Sure, I can help.
sensors.
More to the point, we can include the communication logs and we can do a little bit of editing. So instead of me talking him down, he just blows it open. Really sells the drama.
All right, so Mzaka, do the first roll. This will
All right,
be control engineering with computers engineering for the Valkyrie. Difficulty 4.
Alright, so the plan is we're gonna take a Type 8, we're gonna put like a holographic pilot remotely, and then just blow it up outside the ship.
Or you
Yeah,
could
just
Or I could literally we could just like literally remote control it with a keyboard and fly it out there.
Well, I know, but we want to create sensor logs at least show. They're still gonna expect some kind of biological matter within the ship, so we're gonna have to have Dr. Jar fake something.
Okay.
I like as long as it's like right, there isn't going to be a lot of information left.
No,
It's
but there's some cells, some DNA,
Yeah.
something.
It's easy. You literally take a jar of biomatter and you throw it in there.
Yeah, basically. But yeah,
Alright,
no, we're gonna need some assistance from Jar.
So let's focus on this first roll.
Yes.
I'm taking. I'm gonna have to end up taking all 3 momentum because I've got a difficulty 4 check here.
used your determination already.
Yeah,
Yeah, I used it earlier.
Ja, I'm gonna allow Ja to assist as you say, it requires biomatter.
Well, this is for the photonics thing, right?
Oh,
That's what I'm doing.
okay, yeah.
So, and then instead it was assisted by the ship's computers.
Computers engineering.
Wouldn't it be science in this case?
Yes, sorry, photonic science. Yes, I will.
Can we say that in that case, Lasan is actually, can we have Lasan do it? Focus on holographics because they do still have a determination.
I'm gonna allow that.
Yeah, please have
It's-
Lasan do it. This
it's-
is not my forte.
It's gonna mean I'm gonna do the roll.
Sure.
This definitely counts as unorthodox tactics. I'm gonna use their value of the right words can avert disaster.
Oh, it just occurred to me. You know who might be really good at faking deaths? A former Tal Shiar officer. And especially fooling Starfleet sensor logs.
Okay, so this is on the
Now you're thinking portals.
okay.
He could be assisting Lasan.
Actually, I didn't need another roll because that was all the momentum. Okay. Roll from the ship.
Hey, Pelus, good news. We've decided to kill you.
So just need a roll from the ship, so that'll be computer science.
The ship. Seems like Sarah is indisposed, so I'll do it.
I mean, that's a 7 at the moment anyway. So
Now it's an 8.
It's an 8, so you now have 4 momentum. So Pelus, if you do
Because in this
approach
house,
him,
we believe in overkill.
if you do approach Pelus, he will assist.
Finally, something in my wheelhouse.
Okay, so do you want him to take the lead? Or do you want him
If
to
anyone's-
assist?
No,
If
I
anyone's gonna-
think I think we need to leave that in the hands of Lasan, because we're trying to help Pelus, but I do not trust Pelus to have access to our computers like that.
That's a fair point. Have Lasan take charge.
Okay, so this will be another control science, difficulty 4. Once again,
We made an
unorthodox.
ass load of momentum. So
So that's 4, yes. And the same roll from the Valkyrie. Actually, no. Yeah, same roll from the Valkyrie.
boom.
Okay, so that is 5, which gets you another momentum. So you're able to, between Lasan and Pelus should assist as well. Hang on.
Can we quick grow a clone?
Okay, that is going to be another 2 momentum.
We are not making a flash clone of Pelus.
No, like Pelus is able to assist in faking Romulan biodata, is able to assist in editing the video, so it looks like that he didn't back down and that he exploded. And
Nice.
he's basically what happens is that he sort of refilms it, acting as if he didn't back down.
Okay, cut, Pelus. I can need you to try it again. You're gonna give me a lot more emotion this time, okay?
Captain.
No, we gotta do this right.
And
No.
and with the remote control of the shuttlecraft out of the shuttle bay and into space, the explosion is enough for both the Saskatchewan and the Valkyrie sensors to have something exploded, and that a real point of reference that they can point to saying, yo, he's dead, his body ain't existing anymore.
Saskatchewan, would you like to collect the evidence?
Valkyrie, it would be our honor.
Mm-hmm. While you take that back to Starfleet Command, we still have a mission of taking Pelus's family back to Delphi.
Acknowledged. Saskatchewan out.
Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna send a little personal message to the captain, just telling her she doesn't have to stay a stranger out here. Captain's got to stick together.
You don't get a response, but from your give me an inside command, actually.
Sure. I'll take momentum. And reroll.
Yeah.
1. Yes.
Okay. You get the sense that you may see her again.
Just social link up.
And that is this episode of Valkyrie Flight. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. And I hope you had as much a good time as we did making this. So, see you next time.